So one thing I learned about camp was that when you're in heaven, you learn about God for eternity. And something I really enjoyed about camp was the water day.
One thing I learned about this week is that hell is terrifying. And I don't want to go there. One thing I enjoyed about this week, probably the tubing.
I learned this week is how scary hell is and how much you should repent. And something I had fun with this week was tubing.
My highlight of this week is tubing, and something I learned is hell is a bad place.
The highlight of my week was hanging out with my friends, and one thing I learned this week was that God is merciful.
I would say the highlight of this week were the sessions for me, and then what I learned was that tomorrow may never come, so that we must submit to the gospel right now.
What I learned this week is the ultimate reality of if we believe in Christ or being a non-believer, and what happens when we die, and that there's no point in waiting. If you really want to, you should do it like today. Whenever that moment hits you, it'll hit deep. And the things I learned a lot of things. The breakout sessions were pretty good. I learned about being humble. Learned about how to pray better. And I learned about the heart of mankind, and
So what I've learned in Camp Abide is that hell and heaven's for eternity, and we shouldn't wait. We should go and glorify God and love Him and follow Him and be fruitful. And we should just do it. You have to do it now. You can never do it later. There's not a second chance. Do not waste it. Do not put it on hold or pause. My favorite thing about Camp Abide was the breakout sessions. Going to different breakout sessions, learning different things. It's really eye-opener, and I liked it. And I liked the people talking about different sessions and just speaking the truth. It was very great. Another favorite highlight was the games. The games were really fun. I got to meet a lot of people. They pushed me out of my comfort zone, and that was good to do. I love Camp Abide, and you should come next year too.
One thing I learned at Camp Abide is the scary reality of that heaven and hell, and how nothing is really permanent in this world. And I guess a big highlight of this week would be the share groups.
The highlight of my camp experience would be getting to know more people and making friends, and then hanging out with friends. And then something I learned would be I did not know there was Hades, and I did not know there was Abraham's bosom, so that is something I learned.
One thing I am thankful for on this trip was being able to fellowship with all the girls and learn more about them. And one thing I learned was that anybody who goes to hell is not confused about anything and why they're there.
One thing I learned is that obedience is really important, and if you don't obey God, it can cost you a lot. This year I learned that every sin you commit is willfully committed.
My favorite thing about Camp Abide was being able to see old friends and meeting new ones.
My main takeaway this week at Abide was submission to the truth comes before an increasing of understanding the truth.
My biggest takeaway of Abide this year was understanding the difference between loving God and living for Him, and I'm also super thankful to spend my last Abide with all of my friends in Clare.
One thing I learned at Abide was how important studying the Bible, praying, doing devotions was, and how to grow spiritually. I'm very thankful that I got to fellowship with these girls and learn more about them, make new friends, and
I'm thankful for new friendships and growing in God.
This week at Abide reminded me how severe sin is toward a holy and just God, so I constantly have to check my heart to press on to obedience.
Okay. All right, well done. Everyone, get up. I'm back on. Wow.